I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to speak about today. It's a kind of rambly one, just based off kind of how I've been feeling the last couple of weeks. And just like some of the people I've interacted with and some of the things that have come into my personal orbit. I've been having like kind of a nice time the last couple of weeks. I've been getting plenty of nice feedback, interacting with some nice people, getting things happen unexpectedly, and kind of that's what I want to talk about, because I am doing this thing called A Course in Miracles every day, which you may or may not be familiar with. It's kind of spiritual, but it also tracks with all of what I believe in, like, and what I've trained in the subconscious mind, reprogramming and getting back to what we were born as and what is really the truth about us. And it's like a year-long process as A Course in Miracles. You do a lesson every day, but I guess it's like the Bible in that you can continue to study it for your whole life if you like, because you'll always get something new from it. But by doing a daily lesson, it is reprogramming, rewiring your mind. So that's kind of why it appeals to me, I guess, as well. And I do like a bit of spirituality. I was raised a Catholic, but I'm kind of open-minded in that sense. And I basically believe that we all believe in the same thing, but just in a different way. We believe in some kind of creator. And what's interesting about A Course in Miracles is it highlights kind of whether you want to call it God or you want to call it love or spirituality or the universe, whatever it is, that we were created in its image. So kind of an idea in its head, if you like. Each one of us, individuals, whether we consider ourselves perfect or imperfect, flawed or not, we were all created for a reason. There's a purpose to us being here. There's a purpose to the way we look, and that's it. And one of the main things that we're not here to do is to be fearful and full of doubt and raise objections and gossip and create traumas where there is no trauma and all of that. And for a lot of people, that can be a very challenging thing to stop doing. That is why we need to have like this reprogramming process. That's why when you have a session with me, you will have a 3-week recording, because your mind needs that 3 weeks to take on board some new wiring. You imagine you've been telling yourself all kinds of thoughts full of doubt and hate and fear and comparison and all of the rest of it for a heck of a long time by the time you're in your 30s, 40s and older. So it takes some time for your mind to get a new idea on board fully. So this is kind of what I do on a daily basis, because it's not like I wake up every day and just feel perfect and feel like doing the things that I've got to do and all of that. Some days I wake up like anybody else and I've got that sick feeling in my stomach and I think, oh, I've got to do this and I must do that, and that's a bit of a challenging thing or whatever it is. But at that moment, when I feel that feeling and I feel it in my body or whatever it is, I have a choice. Do I allow this feeling to stay? Do I allow it to build and get worse? Do I feed it? Or do I switch up my thoughts? And that is literally what is necessary, because no matter what you're tackling in life, it gets a heck of a lot easier when you stop doubting yourself. And, as human beings, we focus on a lot of things that aren't actually real, or that won't happen, or that may have happened once in the past, but that particular set of circumstances in that particular way is never going to happen again. So why are we worrying about it? We place a lot of emphasis on the past and our experience. And A Course in Miracles will tell you basically, well, once the past is the past, it's gone, it's done. It has no more to offer you. There's nothing you can drag back from there that is going to help you at all as you move through today or into the future. And again, it's like the more you read and study, you will find that there is a similar thread running through it all. It is all about staying present, rewiring your mind. Your thoughts create your world. So whatever you allow yourself to think over and over again, that is what you'll see out in the world. I was having a little joke with my friend the other night. We went to the movies. We actually went to see Highlander, the old Highlander. And it was really weird because there was all the old like adverts as well. So it was quite a nostalgic thing. But what was funny was when we got to the parking area, there was like two spaces technically, but the cars either side of that had parked on the lines. So neither of those spaces was free. So and I'm like, I tend to play by the rules. I like to do things right. I had to park in the middle because otherwise I was in danger. And I said, you know, you can guarantee that maybe tomorrow there'll be a photo on that Thurso community notice board that says, oh, look at this terrible park, or look how shoddy this is, or whatever it is. Because that's what we as human beings do. We walk around so insecure and so full of fear and so full of doubt and so full of judgment that we're looking to criticize something wherever we go in order to feel better about ourselves, because we haven't done the work on ourselves. So we're really insecure. So there always has to be something that is worse than us. And that is one of the worst things about social media in a way, is that now we've got this forum to put our fears and doubts and insecurities and our sense of judgment and righteousness. We've got like a forum in terms of social media. You know, because I'm not like self-righteous or anything, but, you know, and I don't pretend I'm perfect about what I put on social media, but sometimes when I read some things on social media and I think, I could literally not be bothered posting that, you know, because it's just something about nothing. You know, people worry about so many things that just are meaningless or pointless or bring no value. In fact, there is no value to worrying, because actually worrying and overthinking it does not change a single thing about whatever it is you're dealing with. Whatever you're dealing with gets better when you take action, when you move in some way. There's nothing worse than being stuck. And, you know, you've got a choice. Literally every day you have a choice. You are a creator. You're as much a creator as God or the universe or whatever it is. You know, that the law of attraction sinks in with it, and everything is about what you are telling yourself. It literally is. So if you want to see something different, then you need to be telling yourself different things, even in the face of challenges, you know, or what you perceive to be challenges. Because is it a challenge really, or is it just something that you're overthinking in your mind? Because I know myself, I know when I'm on track with my thinking, because I will quite clearly see things reflected back in my world that are nice and that are pleasant and that are full of joy. Like, you know, I had a nice email from a client of a year ago. I had a couple of, you know, pretty much unexpected gifts. You know, there was just that positive feedback that I was on track with my thoughts. When you're living a purpose-led life and when you're thinking the right thoughts and you're putting happiness out into the world and you're projecting confidence, which actually, when you project your own confidence, you will fill other people with confidence. They will see you and think, oh, you know, I could do it. You know, could I say something like that about myself? Is it okay that I speak about myself in a positive way? Maybe I'm going to try that. You know, whatever you go out and do in the world, you reflect that around. I was talking about this the other day. You, as a creator, which is what you are, you can't help but have an impact on people. So whatever you do has ripples. So you have the choice to go out and kind of pick holes in whoever's on the internet, or pick out flaws in somebody's appearance and say, or pick out how somebody's behaviour is right or wrong, or should have been this, should have been that. Or you can kind of just choose to keep an open mind. If you don't, it is true that, you know, the more you do this work, the more, like the old sayings, just think, you know, we really had it right hundreds and hundreds of years ago. You know, we were more on track then, because it really was that thing of, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. Because if you're saying bad stuff, if you're saying negative stuff, if you're saying stuff that fills people with self-doubt or criticism, or that pokes holes in what they believe about themselves in a negative way, then you really are changing the entire world with that, because it literally is infectious. So the best thing we can do ever, and this was the particular lesson that I was reading about from A Course in Miracles today, it really is about what you do in the world and how you go out there. And if you want a different world for everybody, then it starts with changing your thoughts and what you're doing. And the idea of this, of letting go of fear and doubt and judgment and worry, it can be very concerning for a lot of people because it's been familiar for a very long time. And on the opposite side of that, you're not sure what that's going to feel like if you live a more open-minded life or be more open to what you do have rather than what you don't have. I know myself, I was saying to my friend Nadia over in South Africa, when I'd had like this string of nice things happen, the feeling inside was so joyful and so nice and so kind of overwhelming that you almost don't know what to do with that feeling because we're so used to not feeling that. We're so used to feeling all the negative things, or that kind of happiness can't last, or that it was only because of such and such a thing. We always try to play it off when something good happens to us. We always try to tell ourselves, if we feel good, that, oh, well, that won't last, or something's going to happen that's going to mess that up, or we're always projecting into the future and trying to make it worse. That's what we do as human beings, and that's our whole entire problem. It's a lot rarer for us to say, oh, so-and-so's happening next week, I'm going to make an excellent job of that, I'll have nothing to worry about, it's going to go fine, everybody's going to love me, I'm going to do perfect, I'm going to get this great feedback. We're scared of doing that. So many people are scared to live a happier life. And that's quite a big thought, but have a little think about it for yourself. And, when was the last time you were really, truly happy? And think about what else you were thinking about that time. Were you thinking, oh, well, I'll feel like this today, but I won't tomorrow because I have to do such and such. Or you'd be thinking, oh, what happens now? What if this goes wrong with this? And what if that goes wrong with this? Or, say you bought a brand new car, you go around worrying about the first time it has a scratch, the first time you have a puncture, the first time there's something that doesn't make it perfect anymore. We're always looking to worry as human beings. And it can be a scary kind of thing to consider the idea of, let's not worry about it. Let's not try and predict the future. You know what I mean? Because it is true, that thing of whatever you put your attention on, you're going to get more of. So you can guarantee, if you're worrying about, oh my God, I bought a green car, green cars are unlucky, you can guarantee you're going to scrape that on a fence or a wall or whatever, because your mind goes down that way. Whatever you're telling your mind is looking for your direction. So if you're telling yourself that, then off it goes. It goes off to make that happen. So you'll make a silly mistake, or you'll take a turn too sharp or something. You'll damage your green car that you told yourself was unlucky and you shouldn't have bought, So it can be a challenge to consider the idea of switching up your thoughts. And it's like I said the other day, often people will book calls with me, and maybe the idea of what I can do for them and how they can change is quite scary. So they go off and they have to have a think about it. It's almost like, can I cope with being happy? Can I cope with letting go of this thing that is hampering my life? Because right now, I can't imagine what my life looks like on the other side of it. And that's quite a scary thing because it's not familiar. So it's on all of us to make happiness and light and joy and let's just see a part of our world. It's on all of us to do that if we want to feel better about ourselves and change the way the whole world works. It really is on us, but it is an effort to step away from the fear and the doubt and the automatically going to judge what somebody else is doing or saying, or being somehow envious of somebody living their life in a certain way. We do tend to do that. We do tend to almost be glad when somebody fails about doing something that seemed a bit risky to you, because it kind of tells us, oh yeah, it's a good job I never wanted to do anything like that, because look what happens when you fail, you know, and then you're a source of ridicule or whatever it is, you know. It can be really challenging to think about, what would my life look like if I just dropped all of that? What if I dropped the fear and the anxiety and the worry and the overthinking and the trying to predict the future and the judging everybody else's behaviour? Because the thing is, all of that is masking what you're not doing for yourself, the things that you're not changing about your own life. Worrying about all of those other things helps you to forget that you're not actually doing what you were supposed to be doing in life. And so the idea of getting rid of all of those things that are covering it can be quite scary and can be quite challenging. That's why it's important that we do this rewiring process over a period of time of at least 3 weeks. I mean, in the course, in terms of A Course in Miracles, they're doing it over a period of a year, because it's trying to bang into you that you're not bad or flawed or faulty. You, however you are right now, is how you're meant to be, and that whatever happened to you in the past is all just like layers that have been placed on top of you. But it doesn't change what you are underneath, which is exactly as you are designed to be. So it's your choice whether you're going to get rid of these layers that are currently sat on top of you and be what you are at heart, the thing you were born to be, to live the purpose you were supposed to have in this life. And it's like I say, doesn't have to be a massive purpose. You don't have to be doing, you know, the Elon Musk type things or whatever. If your purpose in life was to be a great cleaner, I mean, there's nothing bad, you know, being a great cleaner is an amazing thing. Loving cleaning, we need cleaners, you know. We're all essential in our different ways, but so many of us hide our light under all of this fear and doubt because we're scared of what happy looks like. We're scared to chase happiness because we don't believe happiness lasts. So it's time to change that, really. It's time to expand happiness rather than feeling happy and then choosing to bring in all the fear and the doubt, and this isn't going to last, or it won't stay perfect, or it won't be like this, or it won't be like that, or so-and-so's going to ruin it, or so-and-so won't like it, or whatever the heck it is. It's time to drop it all, drop all the fear and the doubt and the judgment and the rest of it. And just as I reminded me to talk about my friend Nadia in South Africa, we do have these rather interesting conversations on YouTube. We've done a little podcast that we need to get a bit more structured about it, but we do have these quite interesting conversations. And Nadia is a dementia specialist, so she deals with the mind in a different kind of way, but we do tend to have a lot in common and a lot of thoughts about the same things when it comes to spirituality and all kinds of woo-woo things, if you like. So I will drop the link either in the comments or in the description. I know Facebook doesn't tend to like it if you put YouTube links in things, because obviously that's the rival platform. But yeah, I make quite a lot of content for YouTube now, so if you are interested in this kind of thing and talking about how to reprogram your mind, to have your mind leaning towards the positive and leaning towards the things that are going to make real change in your life, if that interests you, you might want to head on over to my YouTube channel and have a watch. But you can always book a free call with me, don't forget, at charmedlifetherapy.co.uk/call. And if you do head over to my website, if you tap the More button, there's so many free resources in there as well. The Depression and Anxiety Masterclass, the access to my free Facebook group where there's a workshop about hypnotherapy. You can subscribe and get your free hypnosis audio and try out rewiring your mind for 3 weeks yourself. So there's plenty you can do there. I offer lots of help for free. And thank you for watching. And go out today and try, whatever bit of happiness you come across, just try and expand that feeling. Don't tell yourself that it's going to be short-lived or something's going to happen that's going to affect that. See where you can expand it, because when you can change your thoughts, literally, you do change the entire world. You change the entire flow of the world, because what you do radiates out more than you could ever understand, even at a basic energetic level. The way you walk into a room, it's like one person can change a whole party, one person can change the whole course of a meeting. You know it yourself. It only takes one person to either bring something down or lift it up. Remember, at all times, you are a creator. You're going out into the world and you are creating, for bad or for good. So it's time to do it for the better. Be the one that brings the joy. Be the one that brings the light. Yeah, be the one that shuts down the negativity. That's the idea. Okay, see you later.